Oh my God, James, I'm so nervous. I can't believe I've got through.
It's only me.
I know.
This is going to be a massive anticlimax now, Vanessa. Seriously, lower your expectations immediately.
Oh my God. Right, I have been through the whole no fault eviction process, and I had to pull over and ring in.
Go on.
I lived in my house for 12 years with my children, and when we got there, the house was in a terrible state of repairs.
Right.
So I decorated the whole, because I'm a qualified decorator.
Okay.
I decorated the whole place, tiled the bathroom and the kitchen, put all new flooring down. The boiler broke down quite a few times. The pipes under the floor at one point broke, so that we had like a water feature in the back room where the piano was.
Yikes.
So many things. We had a gas safety inspection. My kitchen was condemned because it was unsafe. A new estate agent came in and took over. They came and looked at the property and just said, nope, we can't have this on our books. So I said, well, that's fine, but then you'll need to move us somewhere.
Yeah.
They couldn't do that. I had to look for somewhere myself. But the problem is I am on my own. I'm a single parent. I do work full-time and I am self-employed, but there was no properties at all for us. Every time we went to look for somewhere, there would be like 30 other people looking with us, so I just didn't stand a chance.
And that's where the bidding wars come in, presumably.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much of this would help you. I mean, when you were in there, Awab's law would have forced your landlord to do essential repairs within fixed time periods. At least that's the plan. So that would have helped you.
No.
Why not?
Because what happened was the new estate agent that came in, he came in, served me with a Section 21 straight away.
Yeah.
And whilst that was happening, they gave me a new cooker. They put new carpet on the stairs, and just fixed the broken plugs, and just barely got it through, so that it wasn't illegal what they were doing.
So they could rent it out to someone else. Why did they want you out?
No, hold on.
Oh,
no,
sorry.
That's not. No, I haven't even got to the punchline yet. You got to hold on.
I am.
In the end, we went to court, lost, and we got evicted. I had to rely on the council, so the bailiffs come and kicked us out.
Oh, Lord.
We couldn't get all of our stuff at one time, and the bailiff said, you can come back and pick up the rest of your stuff. You've got 10 days. So I thought, well, that's fine. I do have my own van, so I can come back over the 10 days and get my stuff. But that's not what he meant. What he meant was I've got 6 hours in the next one of them 10 days to get all of our stuff.
Oh, I see.
So that's what we did. I couldn't get all of my stuff because it was too much.
Sure.
12 years of stuff.
Yeah.
But we were getting evicted because my landlord wanted to sell.
Yeah.
Because his mortgage...
No, well, when I said things would be better for you, I meant if the new laws are brought in.
No, because...
he wouldn't have been able to give you a Section 21.
I'll just explain something.
All right.
The reason why... What the point that everyone's missing, and I'm now in a hostel with my kids, right?
Yeah.
Everybody in there has lost their home to that, Airbnb.
Yeah.
My house is now on Airbnb with all my furniture on it, and it's being rented on Airbnb, and that's what landlords are doing.
That's got to hurt.
Yeah, it did at first, but now, we've just had our second Christmas in a hostel. Our second Christmas.
I'm sorry to hear
that. And it's not that there isn't any properties to rent. My house that I was living in was £1,300 a month. Round the corner, the exact same house that was up for rent was £2,000. I cannot do that.
No.
And that is the reality of what is happening. But there's so many people.
And there's no council stock. What are you going to do?
No. Well, we've just got to wait it out. Got to wait it out. And my situation sounds terrible, but I'm in a hostel, and all of us have got the same story.
Yeah.
But we're all living in one room. There's girls in there with like 3-4 kids, all under like 10, one room.
Full-time work. Full-time work, you are.
Yeah. And this is the reality.
Model tenant over those 12 years, always paid your rent on time. Of course,
that's why I was there for 12 years.
And this is why I talk about the social contract being broken, because you've done nothing wrong, but you've been punished.
And that is what it is.
So the only bit that I'm going to argue with you about is if the new laws come in, they wouldn't have been able to hit you with the no-fault eviction in quite such a brutal way. I mean, it wouldn't have been indefinite, and the
no-fault eviction would have just stopped everything.
And they'd have had to fix some of the things that you had to fix yourself sooner if the law comes in and if it works. But it would have helped you, the Section 21 ban, but not maybe enough for you to, avoid at some point where you've ended up. And now you're just, like you say, now you're just waiting it out, doing the right thing, keeping your end of the bargain and being let down, which is why I talk about social capital. I feel bad now that you were so excited to come on the radio to talk about something so awful. Can I do anything to help?
Can I just say one more other thing? My daughter goes to Global Academy, and I can't wait for her to come home tonight and tell her that I've thrown you.
Wow, that is magnificent news. And make sure when she comes to visit that you say that Vanessa my mum is Vanessa.
Yeah. Listen.
And come and get some VIP treatment. Come and get some VIP treatment in James's studio. All right.
Oh my God, she will.
I mean it.
Oh. We've been in a pretty unique situation, really, because I own my own property, but we had to move out for 15 months while our house was fixed after subsidence. So we were thrown into the world of renting, oh my goodness, it was just awful.
What were you most surprised by? How long was it since you'd been in the world of renting?
Oh, since I was a student.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I don't know how long ago that was, do I?
Actually, no, probably because over 20 years ago.
Thank you, Lindsey. Thank you.
Over 20 years ago. But
so what happened? What shocked you most?
Well, my husband's disabled, and I work. So we've got two dogs. Finding accommodation with two dogs is remarkably difficult in the first place.
Of course it is. Yeah.
But you
often have to pay extra as well. Yes, some landlords let you have a dog, but only if you pay extra to. I think there's a story about an MP being in that situation in one of the newspapers this morning. But it is, and of course your dogs are a huge part of your life, and you know.
Well, I mean, we couldn't put them in kennels. They're two Alaskan Malamutes, so they're big dogs.
Quite large.
But we were there for the first place. We were there for 6 months, and straight after Christmas, we got a Section 21 without any notice. So
had you done anything wrong? Had you been model tenants up to this point?
Yeah, well, absolutely. But they decided they were going to sell up. So what could we do? So my husband spent 2 days cleaning the property while we moved into a new place, which took us ages to find anyway. But, we were worried that we were going to end up in
well, who knows where?
Caravan, who knows?
Well, and I imagine if you moved out because of subsidence, the insurance company were paying your rent, were they? They
were paying the rent, but we had to pay the deposit.
So you had to find a deposit. They pay the rent, and then the landlord just decides after 6 months that's it. I change of plan. It might be your home, but it's my asset. And at the moment, the law prioritises the value, the importance of the asset over the importance of the home.
Yes, absolutely.
That's wrong, right? That feels wrong on every level.
Yes,
that feels like classic conservatism. It's here you go, here's someone rich, we'll look after them and stuff everybody else.
Well, absolutely. But I mean, to add insult to injury, on top of the fact that they'd thrown us out, they then wanted... Like I say, my husband spent 2 days cleaning that property to get... I mean, he left it cleaner than when we moved in.
Yes.
Because when we moved in, there was food in the fridge, there was stuff on top of the fridge, there was bags of rubbish. And my husband left it absolutely pristine. And they wanted to charge us £300 for cleaning and for a light bulb.
They always do that. They just try their luck. And some people, to avoid a row... So you refused to pay, I hope?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
And they shut up in a heartbeat, did they?
Yeah. We came to an arrangement.
Okay.
Put it that
but
way.
they always try that with God. It's a long time, the same as you. It's a long time since I rented, but the deposit was always. So landlords have been having a laugh for years, and I feel mildly sorry for landlords that haven't. There are good landlords. But you only need to change the law when the bad landlords massively outnumber the good landlords. And the good landlords won't really be affected by this because they wouldn't have been taking advantage of the situation in the first place. Otherwise, they would cease to be good landlords and would immediately become bad landlords. Are you still with me at the back? Exactly. So, what's not to like? Answer. Well, I look upon people like Lindsey as taps, money taps that I should be able to turn on and off at will, regardless of the disruption to their lives that no-fault evictions represent.
We've been given a Section 21 last week, and we've been told by our letting agent that the reason that we've been given it is because of the new legislation coming in, which will make it more difficult, which I feel is going to create a little bit of a vacuum of people.
So they know that they're going to want you out at some point in the not too distant future, and it's going to be a heck of a lot harder after the legislation comes in, so they're slinging you out now.
I believe so, yeah. I think
that makes sense, doesn't it?
Basically, what has happened is when we moved in, we were told it was, a long-term rental and it wasn't going to be up for sale.
Okay.
And we had the evaluation done on it. Well, the landlords had a valuation done on it. Told to us under the pretense of remortgaging,
right.
and
they
obviously
were really sizing it up for the estate agent.
Yeah. So basically, we've been told that we've now got until the 3rd of June to find somewhere new. The problem being is that if you look at the rentals within a radius, I've got 3 kids that go to school locally.
Right.
Each at important times of their education. My oldest daughter's doing the GCSEs.
Right.
That in the area, there's about 40 properties that are available that might not be suitable. For sale, there's about 400, which is an option for it.
Right. I mean, so there could be a bit of an unforeseen problem on the horizon here.
I believe so. Yeah, this is the thing that I think that is created. That the government have brought this in. It's going to create a problem because landlords are going to say, "Well, do you know what? I don't want to go through the court process." So, I completely understand. Somebody needs to sell their house. They need to sell their house. It's obviously the part of renting that is the downside.
Well, this is where ideology kicks in a little bit, as opposed to practicality. I think the law should protect the person whose home it is more than it protects the person whose asset it is. But getting to the place where that's true is going to involve the problems that you've just brought to our attention, because it won't just be your landlord who thinks, "Oh, well, stuff that for a game of soldiers. I'll get rid of it now." Yeah,
exactly. And to be honest with you, I mean, we've, in terms of what's available around the place, it's going to create such a massive hike in rent. We're looking at maybe £600 more a month.
Jeez.
Which is obviously difficult to find. You add council tax on top of that, and if it's worse. So
even if it does end up in a better place than we're in currently, getting there it's going to be people like you that pay with pain and with money.
Yeah, I mean we've looked after it. We have. I know you've asked a question to everybody. We have been model tenants. We've paid. Yeah. On time every time. We've looked after the house. When we have the letting agent round to do their inspection, which again is a little bit intrusive, to be honest.
Yeah, of course it is.
A little bit patronising,
Yes. It's your home. Again, it's the difference between home and asset, isn't it?
Yeah, and we get compliment. Oh, your house is so beautiful. You keep the house.
What do you think we are?
I know.
Animals.
Yeah.
Funny. But they may have had bad experiences in the past, but it can lack dignity sometimes, that relationship, I think.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem at the minute with me. It feels all a little bit undignified, and it feels like as a father, it's a little bit, it's hard to explain to the kids, especially my youngest one. She doesn't really understand that it's our home. She doesn't understand why it's not our home, if that makes sense.
Of course it makes sense. I mean, you've done nothing wrong. That's the thing that comes up in the course of these conversations, is you've done nothing wrong, but it feels like you have. And exactly. Like the earlier caller, like Vanessa, who's actually been punished despite not having done anything wrong, and you are in a way as well.
Yeah.
I hate it. I really hate it. And I also hate the fact that even if we end up in a better place, it's not going to be much use to you and your family in the short term.